Hello. Hi. How are you? How is everybody doing? I know the situation anywhere is not right and our political leaders gives a rat's ass about our being that we just understood because they're conducting rallies and everything still, but we have to be careful, so please stay in your house, please wash your hands and wear masks. Nothing more we can do, and if you are eligible to take vaccines, then please go ahead and take vaccines. Today the topic we will be discussing about, it's about eyeshadow. Have you ever asked yourself that why the hell do we wear eyeshadows? If you see our history, from Egyptian pharaohs to Indian gods and goddesses and kings and queens, all of them have prominent eyeshadows or koals or kajals around their eyes. Actually, eyes are the mirror of our personality. Our eyes speaks a lot. So contouring our eyes and giving our eyes a dimension have always been the thought behind wearing eyeshadows, other eye products. Now, I wanted to make a big, long ass videos about eyeshadows. You guys have given me all type of feedback and I'm very much thankful for them. I appreciate your feedbacks a lot, and because of that, I will be making shorter videos. So among next few videos, I am going to talk about eyeshadows and why the hell we wear them, how to make our eyeshadows stay, and what is the thought process behind eyeshadow wearing, what type of brushes we should use, what type of palettes we should use, and everything, how to blend properly, and how to make high-end to low-end product work. I know there are many people among my friends who says to me, Bhumi, I think wearing eyeshadow is very tough, or wearing makeup is very tough. I want to wear makeup because I want to go to a party or a wedding ceremony, something, but I think makeup is very tough, and that's why we just stick to kajal and lip liner. It's not, it's very easy. Makeup is not rocket science. Come on, chill. Today's topic is how to make our eyeshadows stay. I know many people use eyeshadows and complain that Munidi, no matter what eyeshadows we use, it looks cakey, and we try to create smoky eyes, but it doesn't look blended at all. And most of the time, the colors that are in the pan, whenever we put it on our eyes, suddenly it doesn't look like that anymore. The color doesn't pop anymore. Why it happens and how to make these problems gone. Today I'm going to discuss all about it. So stay with me and let's go. So the main trick that I'm going to talk about for the starter is prime your eyelid. Yes, priming your eyelid is the trick, and this is why people who prime their lids, their eyeshadow sticks all day long, and whatever they want to create, it happens. It doesn't look muddy or cakey. Now, there's a sad news. The sad news about this whole situation is that high-end products, which is MAC, Makeup Geek, Huda, but NARS, NYX, Jeffree Star, Anastasia Beverly Hills, these are the eyeshadows and etc. I'm saying etc. Because I'm not pinpointing these particular eyeshadow brands, but high-end eyeshadow brands have better pigmentation and they perform well. I'm not saying that you have to sell your kidney and buy all the makeup products. Low-end products can also work good. When it comes to very good eyeshadow palettes, Lakme have a few eyeshadow palettes which is very good. Maybelline has good eyeshadow palette. Makeup Revolution have good eyeshadow palette within. So these are the eyeshadow palette. Now, approximately, or if we say so, high-end eyeshadow palettes work little bit better, but
we can make low-end eyeshadow palettes work as well. It's not like that you can't do anything with your 200 bucks eyeshadow palette, Swiss Beauty eyeshadow palettes or Blue Heaven. You can. So the thing that we should do, or that makes the difference when it comes to eyeshadow, is the eye primer. Now there are some wonderful eye primer out there in the market, especially Bobbi Brown, MAC, but they are very high. I think the Bobbi Brown one was 5,000 rupees, and the MAC one is like that as well. I mean, I am not going to buy something with 5,000 rupees that will not even show. I mean, come on. First of all, I don't have 5,000 rupees to spend. I'm a broke bitch. Ding. And eyeshadow primers are good, but this is one of the reasons that eyeshadow primers are mostly high end, and I haven't have found any eyeshadow primer that's in my budget, which is 750 rupees, $10. I have always said that that's the motto of my channel. Whatever I'll be using, that will be under $10. So I haven't have found anything that can match my range, but I'm trying to find it. If I find it, maybe I'll use. So what do I do, or what you can do if you don't have enough money or enthusiasm to buy eyeshadow primer? So what you can do, as eyeshadow primer, you can use your concealer.
And another reason why I use concealer rather than primer, actually I used one eye primer that was I think that was from Blue Heaven. I don't even remember, it was so long ago. But that primer was obviously bad, just like other Blue Heaven products. It was almost sheer, and it wasn't hiding anything. Now what I'm talking about hiding is, okay, let me come close, then you will see something. I think you can see, which is, I have wrinkly and veiny eyelid. My veins are almost visible here, and I have wrinkles. And it's not like, obviously it will be worse with age. I was kind of sort of born with it. I always had wrinkle here, and I have hooded eyes, which means I have this extra piece of meat that comes down to my eyelid. So when I open my eyes, my eyelids are visible. So basically, whenever I do eyeshadow, that means 2 hours of hard work, 2 hours of immense hard work went to gutter. Because nothing is visible, and not only I have veiny and wrinkly eyelids, I also have pigmentation around this area, and because of that, I think I broke something. It's not only wrinkles and veins are the problem. Another problem that I have is pigmentation around this area, which I call a gift from God. Natural smoky eyes. I was born with smoky eyes. Sometimes when I don't want those smoky eyes, I want them to be gone. Delete. Gone. So for that, I need concealer. The eyeshadow primer I use, I just say that it didn't give me any type of coverage. So for me, it was convenient to use a concealer.
Maybe your eyes are not as pigmented as me. Maybe you don't have pigmentation problem. You can still use concealer. If that's the situation, that you have found a wonderful eyeshadow primer which works well, then you can always go for it. For me, I would say eyeshadow primers are the first choice. But if if you don't have eyeshadow primer, then you can always go for concealers. That's what I do. I haven't find something that can fulfill my demands, which is not being sheer, being full coverage that covers my veins and wrinkles and pigmentations, but I haven't find it yet. So that's why I am using a concealer. So may that be a primer, may that be a concealer, no matter what it is. Why I am saying that it's a good trick? Because our main goal Our main goal with using a primer or a concealer is to create a blank canvas, and that's what we do with that in our eyelids. To create any type of eyeshadow look, at first we have to create a blank canvas. Imagine when we were kids or when we grew up, whenever we wanted to paint something, we always looked for a plain surface, a blank white page, and we are just doing that. We are making our eyelids into blank white page, a canvas, and that's why we want to prime our eyelids. So our eyelids can be wrinkly, can be pigmented. There can be discoloration problem. I know I have many friends who have discoloration problem, like black spots around this area, this area. So no matter what the problem is, making it a blank canvas is our first goal, and we have to think about that. And this is why we need to use concealer or primer. In short, we have to prime our lids. Now, the second reason why we should prime our lids is that our eyes or our skin creates natural oil. We all know that, especially our eyelid area is very oily because the skin around this area is not thick, and because of that more oils comes out, and most eyeshadows are powdery. So imagine if you take some oil in your hand and pour powder on them, you will see that powder just makes a cluster. So exactly that's what happens when you wear eyeshadow straight on your eyelids. I mean, if you are using cream based eyeshadows, that's a different issue. But if you are using an eyeshadow which is powdery, then it's a problem. It creates cluster, and most of the time you will see you want to work things out the way you want to work your eyeshadow out. They're not behaving the way you want them to behave, and that's the prime reason that you should prime your eyelids. May that be high-end eyeshadow primer, may that be low-end eyeshadow primer, most eyeshadow primers are mattifying. So when you put on eyeshadow primers on your lid, it mattifies the whole area. What happens? Matte or powdery surface, on powdery surface, it sticks well and it glides so well. When eyeshadow glides so well, it blends well. You can make eyeshadow looks, you can create smoky eyes, or you can make your eyeshadow work better when your eyeshadow will be gliding flawlessly. Otherwise, where you will be putting your eyeshadow, it will be oily and it will be stuck right there. It will go nowhere. This is something when you are using an eyeshadow primer. But what's with concealer? How to use concealer? Because concealers are not mattifying. Like most concealers are not mattifying, they're oily. So already we have our skin's oil, then more oil. What the hell? There's a trick behind that. There's a trick to make your concealers work. Before I share that trick, I want to share what I use. I mean, what products I use. Actually, I use two concealer. One is this Bonjour Paris, and the other one is Wet n Wild. So I use these two concealers. I currently have these two concealers. These two concealers are more or less the same shade, one shade lighter, actually two shade lighter than my skin tone. But what I did wrong here with these concealers, that I didn't check my undertone, and I need golden to warm undertone. I kind of suck, and because of that, whenever I put them under my eyes, it becomes gray. But recently I bought a new concealer which is from Swiss Beauty. The shade is called Warm Sand, which is working very well for me. Another problem with the concealers that I am using is they're not very full coverage. They're pretty much sheer. But only good thing about them, about the Bonjour Paris one, but the Wet n Wild one, you can build it up. I should start putting on. Now I'm not saying go ahead and buy these products, because you can use any product that you currently have in your hand right next to you. You can, I mean, or if you have none of them, you can buy these products. I will say that if you are fair complexion, then go for this Wet n Wild quadrant one. It has a orange color corrector, a green color corrector, and highlighter that doesn't work, but the concealer is good. You can apply this concealer with your fingers, with damp beauty blender, with brush. In my case, I sometimes apply it with a brush, which is a flat brush. It used to be eyeshadow brush, but now I use it as a concealer brush. Then I go ahead and tap it and set it with my fingers. So this is my process. You can do any process that you want, or if you want to follow this process, you can go ahead and follow this process as well. I'm not forcing anything on you. And my concealer is done. There's one problem with concealer that primer doesn't have. I said that most eyeshadow primers are already mattifying. That's why when you put on them on your eyelids, it kind of blocks your natural oil so that your eyeshadow can glide smoothly. But what is with concealer? Concealer already have oil, so oil over oil. Now I'm saying that we are using concealer because we don't have a primer. It's a jugaad, but we can make it work. You can ask that, Boni, why oil once again? Because concealers have oil in them. That you already told us that over oil, powdery products doesn't work that well. It doesn't glide. Now what the hell do we do to make it work? What we can do is something that we already do with our face, which is taking compact powders and set our eyelids. I'm using Blue Heavens powder.
Before I go further, I want to say that I'm thankful that you have watched my videos, and I will say, if you like my videos or whatever effort I'm putting in, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Also, I have all the social media accounts listed down below on the description box. If you want to reach out to me, if you want to talk to me, I'm a Vela person and I most of the time reply. So if you want to talk to me, if you want to give feedback, if you want to ask me any question related to anything, I'll answer.